So there's a lot of things I want to remember from today's visit. Today is November 30th. It's the last day of the month. And Carlos has been detained since August 13th. I think he's doing okay still. He got really emotional today. I think that there's this young guy named Pony is his nickname. Carlos has taken him under his wing, and I think Pony's really having a difficult time being away from his family, being detained, imprisoned, really. I mean, we say detained, but it's prison. Being imprisoned for so long. And Carlos said he noticed, like, yesterday he was eating by himself. And this is a guy who annoys a lot of people. He's very short, he said. It seems like, he definitely has an affinity for Carlos, which is not surprising. So he talks to him, even though he doesn't necessarily get along with the other guys. But Carlos said that the guy was just so downtrodden and just so down. He was eating his maruchan on his bed, and Carlos went over and said, dude, you can't be eating alone. And he said the young man had just so much regret, about some of the choices he had made. More than anything, economically. I think the guy, was making decent money here in the United States and just spent a lot more and didn't save what he should have. And the guy has also kind of stopped calling his wife, which is, not a good sign when the detainees stop engaging with their family, so super depressed. So I think that he's carrying a lot of people's trauma with him all the time. And last night too, something made him remember his boys. So when I got there today, he's like, and he had tears in his eyes, and he's like, you gotta do this for me. You have to make sure that you tell. Of course, Alessandra's son, but Alessandra's best friends, Graham and Alex and Evan and Noel and Josh. He said, you have to tell those boys that I was thinking about them a lot, and I love them, and I miss them, and I miss hanging out with them, and I wish we were back in our living room doing stupid stuff, watching stupid things. And he has such affection for those boys. So that's something I have to do. He asked me to reach out to the lead juror back from his trial in St. Thomas again, so I'm going to do that, as well as to Kiera and to Attorney Williams and Melanie, his public defender, and Alex Roy, who was the investigator there, all in St. Thomas. So I think I've been reflecting about this very long journey, these months and months. So we had this amazing guard, an amazing guard, who, noticed that we were kind of emotional. There were only 2 visits, by the way, today. Yesterday it was packed. There were like 8 families, and today there was just 2. Me and then another young man who was there for his brother. And this one is named Miss Hall. And Miss Hall, noticed that we were emotional. She brought some tissues over. And then she actually asked Carlos if he wrote English as well as he spoke it. And he said yes. She called him over to the desk. And she was obviously talking to him privately. Carlos made a gesture to me not to get up, to leave them alone. And what I came to find out is she was concerned that maybe one of the guards was mistreating Carlos, or he was having issues with some of his fellow detainees. And he wrote no, that he was just kind of missing his life and stuff. And above all, he was super worried about some of the men he was with, because they were honestly starting to crack. But the compassion of that woman was amazing. Carlos said that there's these group of 3 other guys. It's a group of 4. There's a Venezuelan, there's a Colombian, another Mexican, and him. And those 4 are kind of like they're the meal buddies. So they're the ones who kind of share their meals a lot. And he said the Venezuelan is a loud guy, but he also said he found so much out about Venezuela. Like they actually, because the United States paid for their oil for so long in American dollars, they actually use our American dollars in Venezuela. It's not that we're sending money there. It's the same money that we had paid them for so long with all the oil transactions and stuff. But that everything there, like you have to pay everything. Everything is a transaction. And so Venezuelans who often come here, particularly the ones, the poor ones in the past couple of years, they're kind of looking to make a transaction off of everything. Like nobody does anything for free, which is very, very different as compared to most Mexicans. He said the Colombian guy is very chill, and the other Mexican guy, he didn't buy any commissary because he was sure he was gonna leave, and now he's still there, and now it's just tough. All these guys are young; they're in their 20s, so. Carlos is like their dad, like this wise man, he's kind of become sort of the mayor. So when there are, when there's disagreements between the men, it's him who kind of puts, he's kind of like a judge too. He's all these roles in there. He said that even the guys from other countries, like there's a group of 4 or 5 Indian men, they've come to really respect him as well. So he talked about that. He said that he's doing his best, to really keep as healthy of an environment physically as well as mentally for the men as possible. So he said eventually, like recently he came out, he was like, look, this sink can only be for washing dishes and your hands. You cannot be brushing your teeth and that. Like he's so he wants one sink to where people do not spit in. So he put up a sign in Spanish, no escupir. Well, he put no spitting, please. And then in Spanish he put no escupir. So that's he's just bringing order to wherever he goes and is so well loved. And I just I'm worried about him absorbing all these traumas, from other people. And he really trying to be upbeat and positive and have perspective. But I think there are sometimes he just wants to, I think not have to be so strong perhaps for everyone else. And I definitely worry. And that's also in part, I feel like I can't not be here if I can. I can't not be here if I can, because I feel like I need to support him even with my physical presence as long as I'm able to. And I'm grateful that up until now I have been. Anyway, so there's lots of things that I'm going to have to do. I'm on my way moving to Alexandria. Natchitoches got super, super expensive because of all their Christmas festivities and all that stuff. So I'm moving myself to, Alexandria, to the city. I found something a lot more reasonable. It's like a small apartment complex or something. So the area looks fine, you know what I mean? It'll be a drive out to see Carlos. It's an hour one way, but it'll be worth it in terms of the money I'll save on the lodging. So, that I think is the most important things that he told me. And this is November 30th.